Um, this quote, you asked, it it kind of definitely describes what a lot of people hear and what a lot of people don't do. So I wouldn't say this was a pointless quote because it's facts. Failure is really not an option, but doesn't mean it will be bad if it was an option. Doesn't mean that if it was the only option you had, doesn't mean all else is gone. When people say this, they mean, yeah, it's not an option, but if you get to this point in your life, just remember you can still get back up. Failure is just a pedestal, so don't take this meaning as failure is dreadful, you should never get to it. Don't take it so extreme to that point, because it is dreadful and you don't want to get to that feeling. But that doesn't mean that if you get to the feeling, you can't get out of it. It's like, well, when you're getting into classes, C or D is the passing grade. Yeah, it's a bad grade nonetheless versus A, B, you know, but doesn't mean that if you get there, doesn't mean you're not passing the class. If they technically said it's a C or D, you're still passing. Regardless of what people say, you're a failure. You fail that class, you suck. You're still passing the class. But this doesn't also mean that we justify actions, any action. What you did was wrong. Own up to it. But you have been given a second chance to deem yourself. So take it. People are afraid to make change because they they are just simply too comfortable with familiarity. No one wants to get out of the comfort zone. But who said the comfort zone was a safe zone as well? A lot of people don't look at life this way, but some people think the safe zone in life is the best zone. But sometimes it is the most worst, dangerous zone out of all the zones you can be in life. Guaranteed results are always something that is always reassuring. It's always like, yes, I know if I do this, I will get out this outcome. But what if that small chance of you doing what you wanted to do that's very rare and the chance of winning is very slim? How would you know if you would have won? A lot of people always ask that, well, the chances of doing it is rare, so I'm not going to try it. But regardless, there's always a possibility of winning. Always. I don't want to disclose any information, but I will say I had a certain family member, man, or certain family members, although they believed in me, believed in certain things I wanted to do, they also felt different when it comes to their views on it. And they made it seem like I couldn't really change that. I couldn't really do anything about that. Whatever they believe is what I have to believe. I thought that was straight, total bullshit. Whatever you believe doesn't mean I believe it too. What I believed, it took some ratios to be displayed. It was a 98% of it failing, and there was people just are built like this. Sometimes I think some people are built like snowmen. They want to change, but unfortunately they can't. They would love to play outside in the playground, have a smile on their face as they frolic across the grass, seeing the other children play with their kites and bubbles. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter how many times they try. They will always melt in the sun. Why was it hard in the first place? Was it because you were pushing yourself, thus caused you to fall down? Or was it you had the ability to get back up, you just didn't think you could get back up, so your mindset made you fall? I feel like, or I believe, that people don't get back up because they don't see themselves getting back up. It just seems like a mindset game. Unfortunately, we live in a world where if you don't get back up, someone will pass you. I feel like I'm in the waiting room. I'm just waiting and 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 waiting. And soon enough, someone will call my name. I pulled out my magazine. I grabbed over my unfinished kettle corn chips and Capri Sun from my backpack. And I enjoyed my time until somebody is ready for me to come as I get back up and I keep walking. That's how I feel. If you don't get back up, they will call your name. The next person waiting behind you will take their position, your position, and you can't do nothing about it. Get back up. That is the problem with people. They don't understand that no one cares if you don't get back up. If you don't get back up, then that is your fault. No one should sympathize with you. No one. I feel apathetic towards those who don't get back up. I just don't care anymore. Who cares about you? You have I just never understood it. Some people have all the motivational quotes, the Bible verses, inspirational speeches, parental wisdom and advice, close ones support, but yet they don't get back up. Why is that? Who cares if you fall? You see thousands and millions of people every day. Who cares if they saw you for the split second to fall? They don't care. Ultimately, they will simmer in that moment, but moments only last for seconds. You have to get back up. They're waiting for you to fail. They don't care. Millions of other people fall. So why do you look at your fall as a disgrace? I look at my fall as motivation. If anything, that's my biggest W. Falling. Failure. Fail. Just because you missed your turn to get up and leave the waiting room. Just because they called your name and you didn't answer, you were distracted, doesn't mean you leave the waiting room and you don't try again. Try again, because the next window of opportunity is waiting for you. Always fail, but never give up. I think it means everything it says. How do you think we learn to better ourselves? How do you think every phone and every generation gets upgraded every year? Every year, every decade, there's always something new and improved over the past 10 years of that span. How do you think we learned and improved ourselves as humans? Is failure. They saw the first bugs of the first iPhone, the iPhone 5. Now we are at the iPhone 12. They saw the first bugs of the automobiles. Now we're at Teslas. I just think people don't take it seriously. They don't understand that this is a survival. It's either hunt and kill or be killed. No one cares about you. Understand this, no one cares. And you should never care about anyone else. And before you take that out of context, of course you're going to have people support you and love you and want you to thrive. But they're not going to do this shit for you. They will never will. So understand, you're the only one who cares about yourself. Me, myself, and I. I'm the only one that cares about me. So why should I care about anyone else? If you give up, then you lost. One fail, one loss of a battle doesn't mean you lost a war. If you give up, you failed. Completely. You gave up. You can't come back to it. You gave up.